Hi everyone, welcome back to Grow Your Groceries with Callie Kim. We've got a great start on growing our veggies. Look at this, little eggplant seedlings, just 1 week old. Our peppers, 3 weeks old and looking beautiful. And the onions, planted these on the very first episode, 2 weeks old, busting through the soil. This is so much fun, and this is gonna be you. With costs on the rise at the grocery store, I know you want to save money on your food bill, right? Well, that's what this series is all about, saving money by growing our own vegetables. And today it's all about peppers and eggplant. I'm going to show you how to start them from seed indoors and tell you 3 mistakes that you do not want to make when you're starting your own seeds. Now we're out here enjoying the California sunshine today. We'll head indoors in just a moment and show you where our seedlings will be growing. When you start your seeds indoors, you save a ton of money. You get to grow a wide variety of peppers and eggplant and all kinds of vegetables. And it's just a lot of fun. Gives you a jump on the growing season so you can have vegetables on your table sooner. But there definitely are 3 mistakes you don't want to make when you're starting your seeds indoors. One of them particularly applies to peppers and eggplant because you want to grow a ton of veggies. You want to be able to go out into your backyard and pick yourself a beautiful pepper of your very own. So first off, we're going to start by filling our little containers with our DIY seed starting mix. If you missed the video on how to make it, it's on the Grow Your Groceries playlist. Just go back and check it out. Seed starting mix is nice and fine, it's light and fluffy, and you're going to have a lot of success with it because it's not too heavy for your seeds to bust through and germinate through the soil. So we're just going to fill up a couple of containers. These little 6-packs are super handy to use, but you can also use old sour cream containers, yogurt cups, takeout containers. Just make sure that the bottom have holes in them for drainage so your plants grow nice and strong and healthy and have really good roots, and the roots don't get rotted. So we're filling this all the way to the brim. We're going to kind of pack it in there. And the seed starting mix is already pre-moistened, so the seeds have the moisture they need to really get to growing. The first mistake you don't want to make when you're starting your seeds indoors is either to start too early or to start too late. Now remember, in this series we're working our way through the vegetables that need to be started super early, like the onions we started just a few weeks ago, to tomatoes, and today peppers and eggplant. Now peppers and eggplant, you want to start them about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. And remember, back in previous videos I mentioned you can find out your last frost date on almanac.com, but peppers and eggplant especially love warm temperatures. They're summer vegetables. They love temperatures of 75 to 90 degrees. If you start them too early, you're going to have overgrown plants in your house when it's still too cold to plant them outside. But on the other hand, if you start them too late, you're not going to have large enough transplants to put out in the garden when the weathers warm up to those nice, beautiful summer temperatures. The second mistake a lot of new gardeners make is they plant their seeds too deep. You don't want to go too deep, or that way the seed will have a really hard time germinating. So a general rule of thumb is to plant your seeds about 2 to 3 times as deep as the seed is wide. And we're going to go ahead and get our peppers and eggplant planted today. The peppers come from the Spring Garden Seed Collection. Everything you need in there to grow your own garden grocery store. And the first one we're going to plant is a California Wonder Pepper. This is absolutely one of my most favorite peppers of all time, and I know you're going to love growing it too. It's a really nice thick-walled red pepper. And now that you've got your onions and tomatoes planted, your peppers are going to top that off, and you're going to be able to make some really nice salsa with that. So what I'm going to do is drop 2 pepper seeds in each little seed cell here. We're going to have 6 pepper plants, plenty to share with friends and plenty to place in our garden grocery store. You've got your sweet peppers planted, but you got to plant some spicy ones too, because you want to make that salsa, right, to put on your table. So we're also going to plant some of the Hungarian hot wax pepper, also from the Spring Garden Seed Collection. And wow, these really pack a punch. They're nice and spicy. You're going to love your own fresh salsa. It's just absolutely out of this world. And you can grab a Spring Garden Seed Collection if you need seeds. There's 13 varieties in that. It really takes the guesswork out of what to plant. And you can get $5 off this week with the code FreshVeggies over at calliekimgardenandhome.com. And if you don't have a frost date, like southern climates, you want to get your peppers and eggplant started about 8 to 10 weeks before the temperatures are in the 70s and 80s pretty consistently in your area. So I'm just poking the seeds down in here, not too deep, you can see that. Just a little bit, covering them up, just a little with some soil there. And don't stress over getting the depth exactly right, but just know that these tiny seeds like peppers, you want to plant them very, very shallowly so they can poke up through the soil and germinate really nicely for you. The great thing about growing peppers from seed is you can really grow the rainbow. If you don't like hot peppers, don't plant hot peppers. If you like lots of sweets, you can plant all your sweet peppers of all different shapes, colors, and sizes. Now, what do we do next before we move on to the eggplant? You guessed it, put your labels in so you don't forget what variety you're growing. Date the back so you know exactly when you got them planted and how quickly they grow. Next, we're moving on to our eggplant. I like to call eggplant the garden beauty. It is such a gorgeous vegetable. And we love to have eggplant on the grill. Oh my gosh, it just brings out the sweetness. There's all kinds of wonderful things you can make with eggplant. So today we're going to plant from my eggplant seed collection, Black Beauty, a huge, gorgeous variety. I plant 2 little cells of Black Beauty, and I like to drop about 2 seeds into each seed cell. That way you're not just relying on one seed to germinate, you get really good germination and lots of plants. Always good to have backup plants in your garden. And it's always fun to plant different varieties of eggplant. Another one of the seeds in my eggplant seed collection is the long, thin purple eggplant. So pretty. A nice, small little slicing eggplant that's great for dips and also beautiful on the barbecue. We also love to eat it with goat cheese. And the third variety that we absolutely love is called Listata de Gandia. It's really a pretty eggplant. It's round and it's purplish stripes. So beautiful. That's one of the things about growing your own from seed is you can plant beautiful varieties that just look absolutely lovely in your garden. You are gonna love it. Now, one reason why I'm covering eggplants and peppers together is because they have very similar growing conditions. A little secret I'm going to share with you in just a moment that's going to help your eggplant and peppers germinate so much quicker. So I'm just poking the seeds down in here. How deep again? You're right, about 2 to 3 times the depth of the seed. You are really getting it down. Back inside, here's where my seedlings are going to be growing. But I want to share with you the number 3 mistake that you don't want to make. This one specifically for peppers and eggplant, and that is don't forget to use a heat mat. Now, here's my heat mat, and what that does is it's specifically designed for seedling germination, and it raises the temperature of your seedling tray to make your seedlings nice and toasty and warm. And especially for peppers and eggplant, they love warm soil. When you use a heat mat, you have a lot more success with germination. So I'm going to pop these under the heat mat, and you'll notice pop these over the heat mat, and you'll notice I'm putting them just 2 to 3 inches away from the grow light. That way, the little seedlings, once they emerge from the soil, they don't have to stretch for the light, so they have nice, strong, stocky stems. Here's my tomatoes, you guys, germinating from last week's video. Just took them a week to bust through the soil. Put your seedlings on the heat mat as soon as you plant them. It gives them a nice, consistent, warm, steady temperature. And you leave your heat mat on 24/7 until your seedlings germinate. Now the grow light, you'll learn more about that in the grow light video. You leave on 18 hours a day, 6 hours off. So don't forget to use a timer for that, but definitely the heat mat stays on 24/7. Here's what you can expect as far as germination time for your peppers and eggplant. Your sweet peppers are usually going to germinate in about a week to 2 weeks. Your hot peppers can take a little bit longer, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and your eggplant about 1 to 2 weeks as well, but it really depends on the temperature of your growing location. So if your house is really cold, around 60, 65 degrees, it's going to take that much longer, because remember, these are warm weather veggies. Now let me show you what my peppers and eggplant from the beginning of the video look like. You get a little bit of a closer look. The eggplant, these are 1 week old guys on a heat mat. Actually had these in a grow light closet where they get nice and toasty and warm. Peppers, planted these at the end of December, about 3 weeks ago. looking absolutely fabulous. So in review, don't make these 3 mistakes when starting your peppers and eggplant. Plant too early or too late, don't plant too deep, and don't forget to use a heat mat. Now, a lot of you are mentioning in the comments that you've grabbed your seed collections, you're really excited about growing your own veggies, and you've gotten your seeds started. Way to go, I'm so proud of you. Read through the comments. I know you're gonna find a lot of encouragement there. Now, if you haven't got started yet, don't worry, it's not too late. What I want you to do is go back and watch the Grow Your Grocery series from the very beginning, subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and then go to CallieKimGardenandHome.com, grab the seeds you need. Remember, we're growing through the Spring Garden Seed Collection, and this week you'll get $5 off with the code FreshVeggies. But the cool thing is, I'm also throwing in a free squash seed collection with your purchase. We're gonna start squash seeds pretty soon, so you're gonna need this. You're gonna wanna plant some squash seedlings out in the garden as soon as the weather gets warm. So look forward to reading your comments. Thanks so much for watching and growing along with me. We'll see you on the next episode.